Hey, 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 good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, she's frozen. Apparently, it's raining where my beautiful Rose is. So she may be in and out a couple of
Hey,
times.
it's raining here in Phoenix, so my internet is struggling.
That's okay.
But hello, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I decided to have a little fun this morning. So,
And I love it.
but we've noticed that it's made my light make me kind of green.
A
But
little bit, yeah.
oh well,
But
nothing I can
we'll
do about
soldier
that.
on.
Christmas
Oh,
colors.
man. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a fun week for me. It's been less, let's say, eventful for you, I think.
Different kind of eventful.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It was all about chasing money.
Always fun.
Yeah, no, it wasn't fun. I was pretty frustrated, but I got one of my issues solved, so that's good. The other
That is,
one, I don't know if they're ever going to pay me, so I'm reaching the point of
yeah, I'm pretty sure I know which one you're talking about. And it's over $1,000 owed to me at this point, and I'm just done. Yeah, I'm cool. I did notice now that they're like, there's a thing. If you put in a support ticket, they put up a thing that's like, you're only allowed one per day, so you can't do another one until this time. And I'm like, oh,
they were responding, and then they kept telling me it's really important, and I know you put all this work in, yada yada yada. And we're gonna talk to our guy. I'm like, after the sixth time, I'm like, I don't need you to talk to your guy. I need you to see what the problem is. And then they were like, oh no, they did this very nice, we know you worked hard for this, blah blah blah. And now they've stopped responding to me, so I submitted a new ticket and they're not responding to that either. So
yeah,
and
I
yet they
haven't got
still send me
responses in the last like.
messages all the freaking time.
Yeah, I always respond to those too. Like, I'm not doing anything until I get paid. And then it's like, oh, congratulations on activating your account. And I'm like, no. Clearly, your
No.
autoresponder is set to one thing. And it's a one-way conversation. We're done.
Yep.
We are so done. Yeah, I do feel that pain. But today we're going to talk about drilling down into your niche, which I think a lot of beginners struggle with because when you're taking the courses to learn affiliate marketing, they automatically go into the make money online niche, right?
Yep.
And so I think a lot of people who don't necessarily want to be in that niche end up in that niche because that's kind of what they're taught, and they don't really have any
Oh. Well, yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to pick that up there because you froze. You're right. Make money online seems to be. And also, when people first start getting into online marketing, it's the concept of making money, right? So they're really focused on that. And so they're not really sure what niche that they're supposed to do. The other thing that I find is a problem is when you first start out, you're really pushed to figure out your why, right? But you're told you need a niche, but they don't really go into how to find. I mean, there's some really high level on how to find your niche, but not really breaking it down. It's like, well, what do you like? And that's great, but there's a little bit more that goes into other than just what do you like.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, like, I actually wrote an ebook specifically for that because I was finding that one of the most common questions I was seeing, especially in beginner groups, is, well, what's a niche? Not just what's a niche, but how do I figure it out? Right.
Yeah.
And there's some really simple ways to do that. You start off with, like, yes, what do you like? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? Because, I mean, online marketing, if affiliate marketing specifically, but all online marketing is it's like a job in the sense that if you don't like your job, do you really put in your 110%? Do you really focus on it? Do you put a lot of energy into it? No, you don't. And you'll get burnt out and you'll be like, why the hell am I doing this anyways? So yeah, take a look at what it is that you enjoy and then start narrowing that down some more. And then you sort of build yourself that funny Venn diagram. What do I enjoy? What makes money? All that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And that's where you're
Yeah.
going to find your niche.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of problem with a lot of the programs is there's no real information given about like how to actually find affiliate programs within the niche that you like or anything like that. And so many of them are just like, oh, just go Google affiliate marketing products. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't really work, So like, yeah, I have multiple niches, obviously, because I've got multiple interests. But when it comes to like pets and whatnot, the easiest ones are the subscription ones, like so BarkBox, Petco's got a couple of different affiliate programs, like stuff like that. And for a while, we were going down the Amazon affiliate rabbit hole. So it was like, oh, these are the harnesses we use, blah, blah, blah. And then I got in trouble with Amazon. So there was that.
What
But
did you
it's just,
do?
they typed in my website wrong. And then they were like, oh, well, there's no website here. So you're done. And I'm like, that's not the right website. And they're like, well, that's your problem. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean,
It's
Amazon's good at banning people for stupid stuff. So I
it
see it all the
is
time.
yeah, and it's I mean, they make it sound super easy to get into, but it's actually not that simple to get into. And if you're really good at it, like if you're an Amazon, if that's your main jam and you buy a lot of stuff off of there and whatnot, it can be easier for you. But if you don't utilize Amazon on a regular basis, being an Amazon affiliate is a struggle. You definitely need to have a good personality and be very outgoing because you're going to have to promote each one of those things. You know, you're going to have to show off all the stuff you buy, or, you know, be ready to promote every single thing that's on your affiliate. You're not, you can't focus quite as much. So, you know, you're really selling your personality and your persona online more than you are selling the products, right? And you got to remember that your margins are very small. So, you know, that's where your numbers are going to be really important in terms of your reach, right? Because if you've got a very small reach with those small commissions, it's going to take a lot of sales in order to make that happen for you. But so, and the other thing is that they teach you to niche down and niche down and niche down and niche down. And all of a sudden, you're with this tiny little block, right? And you need to really research, is that going to be good enough? If you're into, like, say you're vegan, right? And you want to have products, you want to sell vegan products or a vegan lifestyle even, it's still pretty broad, right? It's broad, but it is narrow. And that's a good space to be in. But if you are, I only want to talk about this one particular thing in veganism, no, right? And it's the same as, you know, you can be like into the mystics, the mystical, you know, where you're talking about crystals, or you're teaching about Reiki or whatever, you know, that's a good niche to get into, and you can narrow it down a little bit. But if you only want to talk about Fae and you're going to sell just Fae readings or something like that, or how to attract the Fae, you're narrowing yourself down too far.
Yeah, I think that's the pitfall a lot of people fall into with their content creation as well, is they get really, really hyper focused on one part of it. And then, you know, you're missing, they're like, well, why aren't my videos getting out? Why don't I get any reach? It's like, well, because you're talking to this very specific group, which you don't have the following for. So, like, you have to broaden your content to get to that hyper focus that's, you know, looking for what you offer.
And it's okay to be a little bit more broad, right? Because as long as you have what your interests are in there, like, I mean, if you're into, say you're a prepper, there you go, you know, that's a pretty big niche. And, you know, you could be somebody who's more focused on the energy side of it, or more focused on the food side of it, or whatever. You've narrowed it down, but you're still open to all the people who are in that concept, right? So, you know, it makes it easier to have, you got to have at least a little bit out there, a little bit more. And that's even goes for making money online, right?
Yeah, that's where the content buckets come into place, right? Like, what are your 5 things that you want to talk about or you want to content create around, and then use those to make your content instead of just drilling down. Like, you know, we both love PBAA, obviously, but if every single video we do is about PBAA, which we understand the acronym, doesn't mean everybody does.
Right.
You know, it's really quickly going to die because people are like, what the heck are you even talking about? Right. And that's where the lifestyle content and the success content and all the other stuff comes into play.
Yep. And I mean, who you're trying to reach through PBAA is not necessarily who I'm trying to reach through PBAA, right?
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm trying to reach people who are older like me, right? That doesn't mean I'm excluding younger people. It just means that I might not resonate with them as well, But then again, there's a lot of Gen X, there's a lot of people my age who are like, what is wrong with her?
Yeah, I get that.
So I'm looking for my oddball Gen X. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, it goes back to like I have multiple niches, right? Like I have obviously the make money online niche, but then I have specifically the dog niche. And within the dog niche, it's kind of a specific part of dog niche because there's dog pet owners and there's working dog owners.
and
And
those are two very different things.
very different things. And a lot of pet owners don't understand the amount of training that goes into working dogs. They don't understand why working dogs need that amount of training. And so, that's when I get all the like, oh, why are you using a prong collar? Like, use it on yourself. I have. It does not puncture skin. It's not a huge deal. But I know that those people are not my dog niche. They are dog people, but not necessarily my dog people. And so that's where niching down in that niche has helped with getting to the right people. But then I also have my mutt. So like I can still talk to those dog people. And then when it comes to pet dog people that just want to spend time with their pet dog, then my make money online lifestyle stuff kind of resonates with them better. So they do kind of interact, but I separated them for the most part on social media because, again, I'm talking to two very different personalities within those niches. Morning, Kristen and Brian.
Good morning. A way that you can sort of find your sweet spot is like list topics and activities that really excite you, that make you happy, that you enjoy doing, whether it's sewing or cooking or gardening or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Those are really high level, obvious ones, but whatever floats your boat, right? And then consider what you could talk about for hours. Like if you sit down and chat with people, oh, I did this and I got that. And, like for me, a lot of times that's publishing, like writers. Yeah. I love it, right? I love the whole thing about it. And then share your interests with your friends and your family and see what they think, gauge the reaction, say like, journal perspectives is not a bad thing. And when you've got Facebook and social media, that allows you to really sort of get a lot of external feedback, versus, hey, mom, what do you think of this? Right? Because mom's going to go, oh, honey, that's lovely, or she's going to do the opposite and just like, that will never work. Right. The father of my kids, my son's an artist. Right. And constantly he was like, well, what are you going to do to make money? And I have to keep explaining to him, my sister's a full-time artist. That is literally how she makes her money. So, not everybody's going to be, so getting a lot of feedback from outside sources is probably a really good idea. And then take a look at all the different things that are in your niche. What products do you use? What teachings do you follow? All that sort of stuff. And then that really helps you also narrow down your niche and decide if that's going to be working. And then Google. Yeah, you do have to sort of Google. If you use a product all the time, just go and type that product and affiliate and see if they actually have an affiliate program. Like I wear glasses. So I actually looked the other day to see if, because I've been seeing a lot of the pairs where they have the little snap-on covers, because glasses are expensive, man. And so I was like, well, that's an interesting concept. So like what is their affiliate program like, and what do they, I know that they have one because I see it enough, but if I didn't know, that's a way for me to go and look, right?
Well, and even if they don't have one, sometimes you can message them and be like, hey, so like this is how many followers I have. I love your product. I want to talk about it. Like, and sometimes they'll even start an affiliate program because they never thought about it.
Right?
User-generated content is going to seriously explode, or is exploding, but I think is going to continue to explode. I was talking to a personal injury attorney person earlier this week who they hire people and basically teach them the algorithm. And that's how they're getting cases, is from people just talking about it on their profile. And it was interesting. I didn't sign up with them because I was like, I've already confused my audience enough with my 4 niches I currently have. Also, like, I'm not really part of the like lawsuit America side. So I was like, it sounds cool, but like not my thing. But you know, my life insurance company that I work with, all of their lead gen is social media. So user generated content is huge. So you can pretty much find it anywhere for anything you're interested in. Cooking is a great one right now because you don't have to show your face. You know, if you're doing it right, there's a lot of things that you can have affiliate links to. And the latest poll from IG came out and said that most people right now are favoriting comfort reels versus entertainment.
I
Like
saw that as well.
Reels that make them feel comfortable. I think that's why like the making coffee videos do so well. Or like the reading a book by a fireplace, because like people watch it and it just gives them that calming sense. And so cooking is one of those things that could definitely give you a calming sense, right? So there's many ways right now to not show your face and make money and do all these things. If you're not, if you love to cook but don't want to show your face, I think that's your niche.
One of our members actually at PVAA, Whitney, is going to be starting a cooking thing. I'm really excited for her.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So many times beginners are told like, oh no, pick one niche. And it's like, no, if you got multiple interests, like absolutely. Because yes, it's going to double your workload with making content. But if it's something you're interested in, that's not going to be a big deal because you're going to love making the content anyway. And two, like what works on one might not work on the other. Or you might have a video explode on one and you can go back and figure it out and then use that to propel your other. You know, so whenever someone says like, oh, one niche at a time, I'm like, no. Like,
well, yeah, exactly. If you're like, let's just take cooking and what's a strong IG niche? I don't know, like fashion?
Probably.
Okay.
Or fitness.
Fitness. Okay. So let's
kind of go together though.
Well, sort of. But with cooking, Pinterest is actually really big for that, right? Because people search it all the time for recipes and ideas and whatnot. But for IG, you're going to be searching for maybe fashion people or celebrities or that kind of stuff. A little bit more different kinds. But so you could do both things and have two separate main platforms. And that's the other thing too, is that you can cross platform, but one of them's obviously going to probably do better than others, just depending on what it is that your niche is. So find it, figure it, but that's all research. Again, always back to the research.
Yep. That's where, again, a lot of beginners don't understand the actual work that goes into it, right? And I know there's a crackdown coming on the big claim videos. I think TikTok already has it where you can't put dollar signs and stuff like that because people were making grand promises and then the not being honest about the work that goes into it, and then the people weren't putting in the work, not getting the results, and
getting frustrated. You'd see on every yeah, you see a lot of that. It's like you keep saying this, but it's not true, or you keep saying this, but you don't tell us anything, and that kind of stuff. And it's like people don't like bait and switch. No one likes bait and switch, right? It's just why would you? You know, if someone's telling you you're going to get something or that it's possible, be honest. And I think we as a society alone, because with the pandemic, more people online, right? More people looking for alternative ways to make money, start seeing more and more of that stuff. And so that heyday of, you know, it's like fish in a barrel, right? But that's gone now, right? Because everybody got a lot more savvy. You know, just for everything. And then seeing prices double and triple and whatnot at the stores and going, but no, I mean, even if you factor in inflation, that's not 250% increase. And then you see their profits and you're like, wait, you made 250 billion? Gee, I wonder why, right? So people are becoming a lot more savvy about the lies and they don't want to be lied to. You know, if you tell them it's work, and they're ready to do the work, then that's fantastic, right? They're ready to go. Lying doesn't serve anyone.
No, not at all. Sorry, I got distracted. Brian posted about us. That's also why I laugh when like you see the ones that are just copy and paste. You know they're copy and paste. And it's like you're not being authentic. And like it's obvious if you're not authentic. And I think that's what a lot of people miss. Like, I have a lot of fun showing my quirky side. Like I literally have a video coming out of a song rewrite that I think is gonna irritate a lot of people, but it's fine. Where I say something about making money off your quirks because like, even in real estate, like I'm the goth Victorian agent, like or Victorian goth agent. Like that's my niche. That's what I go for. And so, I'm very much out there to a lot of people and I'm fine with it. And I think I kind of dulled it down a little bit when I started my journey. And now I'm just like, screw it. Y'all want to know just how weird I am? Let's go. Let's talk.
Well, with the publishing, the horror writing and whatnot, my persona carries a lot of floggers. And people just know that about me. And so, they're like, they joke and they laugh. And that actually, for a long time, my note from the editor actually had a picture of one of my floggers, like, so that just became my personality. Now, over here on this side, it's a lot more toned down, but that's because I wasn't sure if I should put up that kind of a personality.
Yeah.
Scare a few people, but it's just fun. And for me, it's just joking and laughing and having fun. And yeah, no, but definitely a potty mouth. And
yeah,
we got
double going on. My bad. Yeah, so normally on Instagram, I get actually on all the platforms, I get kind of attacked for my piercings, and like it's fine, like I'm prepared for it. But like 2 weeks ago, someone actually commented and was like, "Dude, I love your facial piercings," and I was like, "Oh, you're my kind of people."
You're finally reaching, you're finally snaking through all the trolls. I don't understand why people have a necessity to tell people what they do or do not like. I mean, especially if you don't like it, there's a scroll button, man. Just scroll on by. But I guess some people feel the need to. And when you're starting out, those people can really knock you down, right? Because you're already nervous. You're already starting something new. You're already nervous about putting your face out there or your ideas out there. You're worried about what your family's going to think and your friends are going to think. And then you get some freaking troll coming on your page and either calling you a scam or, you could do better if you did this. And, they're not helping you. They're not actually providing honest feedback. They're just being a jerk. And that's why it's really important to also have a good team or support system around you. Yeah. Trolls when I ruined. Aw, that's terrible. Yay. See? Yeah, like and that's the kind of thing that happens. And I mean, Brian's seasoned, right? So trolls can take you to the wind out of your sails, but you really have to learn how to just go, you know what? They're just unhappy people. They're unhappy people. So like, the best response to them is, are you okay? Are you hurt? Like,
I go Texas on them. I'm just like, oh, bless your heart. I hope you have a better day.
My favorite saying is, have the day you deserve.
Right? That's a good one. That's a really good one. What really broke it for me, I had like a week stint where.
What are you saying, Brian? Are you poking fun at my age here? Like, what's going on?
I had about a week stint where I went to all my profiles across all platforms. I turned commenting off on all of them because I was done and it was affecting me mentally. And I was just like, I can't anymore. And then my dog's account got trolled because I'd posted a video of Pictus and Nachi playing. And Nachi's a lot smaller than Pictus. And Pictus was doing the, like, I don't have front legs things. Like, his butt was up in the air, but his head was on the ground. He was just, like, spinning because he didn't want to hurt her. And I thought that was hysterical. And so I posted it. I was like, oh, I guess he forgot he had front legs. And someone commented and was like, this isn't nearly as good as the TikTok dog who's on their hind legs. And I was like,
who cares?
You're trolling my dog now. I'm like, okay. Literally, the trolls just have nothing better to do. And that kind of was what I needed to be like.
Give you a little perspective.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm done with you guys. I don't care. So I think Brian's younger than I am, honestly.
Brian's a baby. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time, but man, he's like barely older than my eldest son.
Oh, love it. Love it, Brian. But yeah, don't overcomplicate the niche is really the point of it, right? Don't get bogged down in like, well, what do I want to talk about? What am I gonna? Yeah, you are younger than me, Brian. because I think that stops a lot of people, right? And then they get into this spiral of, well, it has to be perfect, and so I have to, know my niche backwards and forwards. And no, you don't. Talk about woodworking, and if you're not, Ron Swanson woodworker, it's okay. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people, that they'll follow your journey, not your finished product.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I feel like finding a niche is a lot like first year college or university. Like you guys call it college down here, it's university up in Canada. But yeah, so it's a lot like your first year. You go in thinking you know what you want. And, a good portion of the time, by the end of that first year's done, you've switched majors. You've decided that, no, I don't want to do this. Luckily, while you were doing your first year, you have to take a lot of cross, courses so you can transfer your credits to a new major. And it's the same thing with a niche. You learn a lot of stuff while you're doing it, but it may not be the niche that you may find out that, yeah, you know what, I like doing it, but I don't like selling it. So, I want to get back to just enjoying it and pick something different. And that's okay, because you've learned some stuff along the way. You've got some skills that you can transfer over to the new niche. And the next one's going to be easier for you too.
Yeah. And unlike uni, you don't have to take a bunch of stupid elective courses in the midterm that you don't need, that don't, transfer into what you're actually doing. So
yeah,
exactly. If you take that affiliate marketing course, no matter what, if it's a good course, if you got good coaching, like we get with Brian, just throwing that out there, then you learn the skills for whatever niche you choose. You're not just learning the skills to promote the product.
Again, that's the necessity of not just going into something that's 100% done for you. Because if everything's done for you and all you've got to do is blah, 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 you're not learning anything, right? And so if you decide that that is not for you, if that program is not working for you, you have no skills to transfer over. You're basically going to be starting at the beginning again, and then you'll be back to finding another done for you. Having some of those things done for you in the beginning, but still offering you all the training so that you can do it yourself. That's great, because that's sort of like having the training wheels. And then while you're learning, you're learning how to do it on your own without having to fall on your face, and hurt yourself a lot. I lasted 3 months in uni. Yeah, my son is 1 year younger than you, Brian. So there you go.
I love how this became a topic about Brian's age.
He started it. This is just a glimpse of what our coaching and our training and our community is like, actually, folks. It's a lot of joking and a lot of fun, but also a lot of relevant information and support. So, yeah.
Brian puts up with a lot from us.
Yeah, he does take a lot.
But, he's got a British accent, so it's fun.
Yep. And he thinks he's hard to understand, but he's actually not that hard to understand.
He's really not.
So what are some of what would you say are your main tips for finding, like, to choosing your niche and how to make it work for you?
I think a lot of it is, who do you want to work with? Like, that's something they taught me in real estate, right? Is like, I'm not the agent for everybody, but I don't want to work with everybody. And so think about really who your ideal client is, or the person you want to help the most, right? Like for me, like I want to see, people who are into urban mushing have the ability to train their dogs to urban mush all day long, right? And so I'm not going to talk well to like Brian's audience, who's, dads. Like I know that's not my audience. So I think that's a huge part of it to remain authentic, is like, who do I resonate with, or like what resonates with me, and like, who do I actually want to work with? I think is a really big part of it. And then again, like you were saying, I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. He's talking about we're distracting him. I feel like it's
it's fine. We're all distracting. It's fine. Distractions are okay. Let's be honest. Like distractions every now and then are okay. Like allow yourself to be distracted every now and then, but get back on the path.
That's it.
But it's like you were talking about, like, what can you talk about for hours, right? Or what can you educate people on for hours? So, like, for me, with the dogs specifically, like urban mushing, bike joring, and schutzing are three things I had no idea about 2 years ago. I thought schutzing was just a way for humans to, show off like how badass their training was. I didn't realize the dog freaking really enjoys it, and like working dogs need that work. Urban mushing, same thing. Like, yeah, I'm not a runner. I'm not gonna go out and run with my dogs, but I'll go bike with my dogs. And by having my dogs pull me, I'm now combining cardio exercise and sled pull essentially. So my dogs are getting a killer workout. They're having fun, and I'm having fun because I'm outside with them, right? So, what is something along the way that you've learned, or something that you know a lot about, that you can just talk to people about endlessly and get excited about and educate them about, and then go from there? I think those are the two biggest tips I can give people for choosing their niche.
And I think that those are excellent tips. Yeah, because like you say, if you, again, back to the work analogy, right? If you don't like the people you work with, you dread going to work, right? So you're not. And it's the same with when you're picking your niche. You want to resonate with the people that work, that who are like you. And
Yeah.
again, that doesn't mean that you can't communicate with other people. It just means that if you can sort of try and make sure that you're enjoying then you're going to reach other people who want to be part of your journey. Right. Yeah. And so picking a niche that's outside of your interests, you're going to have a much harder time. It doesn't mean that you can't. Right. Yeah. If it's something that you've been curious about, then great, because then you can share that curiosity with your audience. But if it's something that you're not really curious about, something that you've never really had an interest for, that is absolutely going to come through in your work ethic, your stamina, in terms of your staying power on whether or not you're going to, keep up at it when it's frustrating and it's not going well. And it's also just going to come through in the way that you talk about it, in the way that you communicate about it, right? If you're not interested in it, I mean, whatever, right? You're not going to have the same enthusiasm, and that enthusiasm is contagious, right? If you're excited about something, other people get excited for you, right? And they get excited with you. And so that's really important. But also, again, don't make it so tight that you've nailed yourself into a box. Having it a little bit broader allows you to branch out into the various areas from your niche, right? Like, even if it is making money online, that's important, but there's lots of different ways to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So you're not just nailed into, selling. You have to sell a course, you have to be a coach. And also think about whether or not, when you're choosing your type of niche, whether or not you're looking at service or you want product, because that's also important too, right? For some people, they might just not be into the service, and also recognize your time, right? If you're going to go into the service industry, whether you're coaching or something like that, you have to factor in the fact that it is time. You are going to have to put time into that, and not just time into building your business, but time with your customers. And so if you're not prepared to do that, you really need to be aware of that. So just take self-stock, mostly take self-stock, and then look around.
Love it.
So been awesome.
Love it. Yeah.
You guys thought this was helpful, or, if it brought up some things, or if you have questions, by all means, as always, drop them in the comments, because even if we're not live, we will go back and we will look at them and we'll be happy to answer them. As I mentioned at the beginning, if Rose doesn't mind, I do have an ebook specifically about nailing your niche, and it's everything from choosing it all the way on how to promote it and how to most effectively make your niche work for you. If that's something that you're interested, again, just drop a comment and I'll be happy to discuss it with you and send it over a copy. No charge. It's just something to help people, because I do believe in helping people. So.
Yes. And you can also DM us at any point. And if you're catching this on YouTube, we will put a link to that ebook in the description, so you can get it there as well, because this does go up on YouTube. But yeah, I think that was a good conversation.
Right. And Friday morning. We only have one little glitch at the very beginning, so that's not bad.
Yes. Yeah. Not too bad, considering the issues we were having before we got on.
True. All right. Have a great
Awesome.
weekend, people, and a Merry Christmas. Because we will not be.
Happy holidays.
Yep. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.